Okay, we're live again.
Oh,
Oops.
sweet.
Let's just wait a bit for everyone to join back in. Yeah, there were some technical difficulties. We don't know what happened. Live just randomly it just cut off. So we're all freaking out, and um, yeah, unfortunate. But thank you all for tuning in again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question we were on was what utilities do these lost soul entities have?
Yeah. So I guess like we kind of talked about that the metaverse like staking itself. I mean, that's going to take a little longer to realize. So
Hmm.
right now we do in October, or I guess September and October, we had a soul pass out in goals for kind of October. So we did basically you just need two souls to get a soul pass, and then a soul pass gets you a goal. So that was
Okay.
kind of just just right off the cuff. And then we do have a more of a alpha chat in our Discord right now if you hold two souls. So really
Yeah.
just kind of just like to chat and to kind of like just kind of share different alpha and talk about kind of different unique projects that kind
Yeah.
of are in the space and whatnot. And then yeah, Adam, anything else?
Yeah, so then also goes back to, we talked about how we're gonna have a land sale um coming up, so holding a soul will be important in that. And it's basically our Genesis NFT, right? So like
Hmm.
we are going to always, treat our soul holders as our first, priority community members. They're there with us since day one, whether they minted or whether they just got in, later. They're still a day one, supporter of the project. And I think that basically anything else we're working on under this, anything coming out from Lost Souls is gonna benefit, soul holders specifically.
Yeah. You mentioned that holders of the lost souls have they get gold. Was that right?
Wait, sorry about that. I think I lost you on that question.
So you mentioned that holders of lost souls they get gold. They get airdropped gold. Did I hear that correctly? Or
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah,
okay.
no, I don't. Yeah, I don't think we have kind of any of that planned. I mean, we do have various airdrops planned.
Yeah.
We kind of changed schemes on that just because of like transaction costs on Ethereum. So we're I don't know, like a lot of the airdrop and a lot of the like unique stuff we had planned for the NFTs. Like we needed to kind of like right now we have OpenSea and they support Ethereum and Polygon, right? Yeah, and it's kind of like you know like I don't know, that's like one of the biggest things, at least like everyone I talk to, kind of every like all my in real life friends or like even just people I meet, I'm like, hey, like check out the Lost Souls, and they're like, I got to teach them how to download MetaMask and all that. So I think like I don't know, that's like one of the biggest things we're trying to figure out. I think a lot of NFT projects are. It's like where we want to expand the user base as much as possible, but the infrastructure is still just is not there. So I don't know. We're kind of we're figuring out with the airdrops and whatnot. But
Cool. Cool. So I saw that you guys have a community DAO. So how do you go about making purchases? Because I saw that you recently bought a creature world.
yeah, crypto influence. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so for that we wanted to set up just a community interaction and also, give the community a voice sooner rather than later. So the idea is, we set up our vault, and that our vault is, a direct, like the community has a direct say in that our vault. And so whether it's a holder that wants to bring up a proposal of, they can see funds within our vault and decide to bring up a proposal, or we can as a team and have it as a vote. Basically, we wanted to create, something of a collective ownership there to test, not necessarily test, but get everybody ready in the community for kind of more DAO interaction, because we will have a lot more DAO interaction overall down the line, especially when Ecto is out and when our metaverse is out. So the idea there is to really set up a strong structure of getting people to vote, and at least, because what you see a lot is that voting usually increases over time. If you can start it at the right point. If not, you're kind of trying to incentivize voting instead of give people in the back of their head like, this is something I should be doing for my self-interest and not just for the project. If everybody's contributing in some way, it definitely can move the project along better than incentivizing or saying that a lot of DeFi protocols, people vote even just to try to get an airdrop later on, or to try to spread out their votes and stuff like that in different wallets. So it's kind of not as indicative of what you would get. So when you're doing a DAO like this, it kind of gives, there's no direct incentive at first. It's the collective moving toward, one certain point. So, and then our first vote was brought up because those were some projects that, we met in NFT NYC, and we saw strong communications between them and development, and it was something that we brought up as a proposal because it would benefit the community later down the line.
Cool. By the way, if you are listening, we are doing giveaways, so please make sure you fill out the form, and we will announce the winners near the end of the stream. I just wanted to mention on stream that the artwork is amazing. These souls are extremely cute, and I feel like they're just a vibe, and they have their own unique personality. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what inspired, why did you go with the souls and who made the art?
Yeah, I can chat about that. I also finally got into the SandStorm.
So you're running around.
Yeah, I finally got in.
You are.
Yeah, I mean, we I guess what inspired it was we met Clarissa through. So we met Green Barkeep. He's our he couldn't be on the call today, but he knew Clarissa and kind of convinced her to kind of work with NFTs. So that was really interesting because she had obviously just never done that. Never worked with NFTs, didn't know what they were about. So we actually sat through and had a lot of talks with her about hey, this is kind of what NFTs are, and this is kind of I showed her other projects and whatnot, and she was kind of all in. So we really gave her kind of a very minimal oversight in terms of we were just have build it around this cute soul. We had kind of the rarities and the traits kind of that the structure of it. But in terms of, I mean, she said she even just sat around with her friends and just thought of traits that she could put in, which is really cool. And then she, when we had the successful launch, she said she didn't even she really didn't even think that, it was they were going to sell out, or had no idea what was kind of going on and whatnot. And now she's kind of very much into NFTs, and I know is still working with us and on pieces and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of the story of the artist. I wish I would love to get her to kind of chat more. She was out of the country, I think. So it's a little hard to communicate, but yeah, I mean, she's great, and I'm really excited to see what she kind of continues to do in the space.
Cool. So how was the launch? Was it smooth? Or did you guys come across any technical difficulties? Was gas fees through the roof?
Yeah, we were really happy with our launch. We really, I mean, I think we sold out in about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Nice.
And we had a few areas of spiked gas, but it wasn't anything that made us not feel bad, but like it wasn't any, you know, I think the most it maybe got up to was like, I mean, this was I guess in August, it was even like maybe around 100, or I know we spiked up to like 250 gig away. So like it wasn't too crazy. Website didn't go down. Everything kind of, you know, worked out, and we had not an instant reveal, but we revealed about like an hour after kind of everything went up. So yeah, the launch went pretty well. We were really happy with it. You know, it was a lot of technical work just on the back end. But yeah, I mean, it worked out, you know, just nice to have everything kind of work. Like when you hit the button on Ethereum, you know, to launch the contract, you kind of like get a pit in your stomach. You're like, all right, like this is it. So yeah.
Welcome to the stream, Green Barkeep. Thank you for tuning in. So you mentioned that you did the reveal instantly after the mint process finished, but some projects they usually wait, you know, 24, 48 hours before they make the reveal. Do you think that matters? Do you think one way is better than the other? Like, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, Crypto Influence, if you want to talk about that, I know you have opinions.
So I guess there's different benefits and there's different pros and cons on both sides. So when you're on a project side, I think waiting longer to reveal does let the market kind of speculate more. So sometimes, you know, you'll get more volume traded. I think a lot of times what we do see is that pre-reveal, the floor will be higher than what post-reveal is. Within like, you know, we're talking hours here is the stats on that, but then things start to even out, you know, further from the reveal date. So I think in general, the faster you reveal, the more you see the price start to stabilize, and the slower you reveal kind of gives more time for, you know, people to speculate, people to try to play the quote unquote lottery game, or people to try to, you know, find the metadata somehow. If you know, if you're a project that kind of left it out there, and that also plays a role in kind of, you know, if your metadata leaked, you're gonna get some FUD afterward if the reveal took too long, and then people had time to, you know, go in and check through the metadata to see which ones are rare. So I think it goes by preference and way you want to be perceived in that time. So, and what you really said beforehand, right? So like if you said beforehand that you're going to reveal within 24 hours and it's constant delays, that's, you know, going to have an effect also. So there's different ways that it can benefit and be non-beneficial to you, but I think more so at least sticking within, you know, that first 24-hour range is usually the best, especially for engagement, and especially because you don't want to, you know, go back in and see a bunch that are not revealed yet just because people didn't have the, you know, speed to go and refresh the metadata. So I think within 24 hours is a good place to be. 24 to 48. I think when you're doing the week plus type of thing, you're really trying to milk the secondary sales is what it comes off as. But that's basically what it's come down to.
Yeah, like, I don't see any other reason to delay the reveal other than trying to get secondary volume.
Right.
I don't think of any other reason. So
unless there's I mean, I guess things can happen. Yeah, really not. If you're prepared for it, if you're prepared for mint, there shouldn't really be any reason to delay it any longer, especially since your metadata shouldn't really have any errors with it based on the contract you write.
Yeah, so we ended up, I guess, revealing with like within the hour, maybe 2 hours, just out of kind of it's a very exciting time, and we kind of had the command ready to kind of flip over, so we ended up just kind of flipping it over.
So I guess there is no right or wrong way. It just depends on what the project's goal is when it comes to the reveal.
Yeah, that seemed what it like kind of what it was, and then yeah.
But I'll do backflips in the office. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but sounds cool. Sounds cool. What are your thoughts on NFT projects coming out with their own tokens? Because a lot of them are doing it. Do you think it's a long-term thing, or do you think it's just a phase and all these tokens will just die out in the next few years?
I mean, I guess that's another one that's really dependent on who it is. So like, there's a lot of benefits to having a token. Like engagement, people feeling like they're more connected to the project, new users, etc. But if that token doesn't really do anything down the line, I think that's where you're obviously going to run into some trouble. But if you are a project that's making a token for a metaverse, that kind of works within the ecosystem, or a token like a token to maybe buy other NFTs within their ecosystem, I think those do work. You even have Sandbox, who has Sand, which works within their ecosystem. Decentraland, Mana, but the idea that I think the idea with tokens, like CyberKongs is the blue chip example of breeding with tokens. So the idea is that not everybody can be a CyberKongs, right? So like not everybody is going to want to spend those tokens in just that atmosphere for 100+ games that are all pixel styled or voxel styled. So I think really just picking, if you're investing, I think the idea is you really want to pick which ones you can see continue to develop, and not ones that have released a token that seemingly just seems to ride the wave for I don't want to say like cash grab, but sometimes tokens, implementing a token too quickly or in the wrong scenario, can kind of push that ideology forward, that you're just releasing it to kind of get your share.
Yeah, I think a lot of these NFT projects are either making cash grabs, or they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. And yeah, I just don't think it's sustainable for a lot of these projects. But of course, there are projects. A lot of projects will have successful tokens, and a lot of them will fail. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I
Right.
think making a token is kind of a bit like I think there was a lot of pressure the past few months to kind of stay current as a project and whatnot, and like kind of the hype, and like you gotta release, and tokens are something that are very like it shouldn't, I don't know, yeah, it definitely shouldn't be taken lightly in terms of like who's responsible for what, or what the end goal is, right? Because like at the end of the day, it puts a lot of pressure when we're in this crypto world where everything kind of has a price, and through that whether the contributions directly relate to that that price or whatnot, like it gets very taxing. I mean, that's why you see a lot of devs in the space kind of end up in like these big DeFi projects like kind of having to leave or take a step back or whatnot, because it kind of, so yeah, I mean caution other projects like our token, or at least like our DeFi application, like has been plotted for a while, and we really focus on making it more as a protocol token, as a token that's kind of inherent to the ecosystem, rather than kind of from the direct action of kind of a core group. So I think that's kind of like our view on it, at least in terms of anything in that respect that we're kind of planning.
You mentioned that these NFT projects had a lot of pressure to innovate and release tokens just because the community was asking for it. And yeah, I get that we have to listen to the community, but at the expense of coming out with a token just to please them, would you say that's a worthy trade? Because I know we're always like, we have to listen to the community, we have to listen to the community, but sometimes we should draw the line and know when it's not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, we kind of have that similar. I think now that I don't know, the a lot of the past like few months has kind of like slowly died down. It takes everyone a second to step back, because I think at the end of the day, everyone has to realize that like the people at the end of these projects are literally just people like that made art and did a cool project, right? Like at the end of the day, like some of the pressures from the community and you get wrapped up in Twitter and like what other projects are doing and whatnot. But yeah, in terms of kind of that initial token, like the pressures from the community are great, but I mean, they kind of subside, or like I don't know, we've always found that like those biggest pressures are from a few people, and like kind of the main community, like people in our groups and whatnot, they're just also normal people that like kind of, you know, like the cool stuff we're doing. So we kind of just tend towards those people, the more reasonable ones that are just like, hey, like we get, you know, we want to see cool stuff, and you know, we kind of are okay with waiting a bit and whatnot. So I think we're trying to, in terms of our community, like trying to just foster that as much as possible to kind of, you know, work through the community that way. So that's kind of our thoughts.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of the times it's just a phase. I'm not saying that the tokens won't last for a long time. I have projects that generate tokens for me, and I do believe in them. But if the community is bugging you about it, yeah, like a month or two, I don't think it'll be such a big deal anymore.
Yeah, people have really short attention spans. That's also another thing.
They'll focus on something else.
Yeah, right. And then, you know, the new kind of whatever, you know, the fork of the day is kind of grabs the attention. You're like, okay, cool. We can just get back to developing. But yeah, I mean, but then other times the community will come up and everyone will be up in arms, and they have very valid, you know, opinions and concerns. And so it's like kind of just like weeding out those two, I think, yeah, is what we've learned kind of.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions that I have for today. Would you like to mention anything else about your project?
Look, no, I don't think so. I think you know, thanks everyone on the chat for listening to us. We're, you know, we have, I guess, more of the DeFi application and whatnot, and you know, a white paper out within at least the next month to kind of explain what I just rambled on about, like in terms of the DeFi stuff. So that's exciting, and then the merch store kind of as soon as I can finish coding it. So hopefully soon.
I'll announce the winner of the giveaway now, and the winner is, I'll just copy paste the name on the chat in case I butcher it. It's Jotska. The winner is Jotska. I might be saying that wrong, but
Oh, let's go.
Nice. Nothing I can do about it. Congratulations to the winner, and thank you for coming on, man. That was fun. It was a great time learning about your project and meeting you guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having us.
Cool. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Have a great day or have a great evening wherever you are, and we'll be back on Friday with some more interviews. Peace.
All right, have a good one.